Hi, I'm astrologer Penny Dix. Welcome to another Astrobite. And today's is for today, which is Saturday the 1st of February. And it's a new month. We have just entered the year of the wood snake with the Chinese New Year. So are these energies going to be helpful to the energies that we have in our traditional Western style astrology? Because we have a lot of energy in the sign of Pisces. Now, Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It's the 12th sign. So we have a kind of queue of planets, cosmic bodies, energies building up in the sign of Pisces, as if they are vying for who is going to move and begin again in the sign of Aries. You know, I was thinking about the wood snake because wood, of course, brings in the element of earth and of growth and of change. And there is something about the snake that was reminding me of the Ouroboros, which is the symbol where you see the snake eating its own tail, which is a sign of transition and kind of the end of one cycle, the beginning of the next cycle. So very much a transformational symbol coming from the Chinese astrology with the year of the wood snake. And so today we have this strident Pisces energy, this energy of emotion and feeling and of, well, a kind of, to me, there is a kind of heavy energy. Now, interestingly, and I am going to come to the aspect I'm going to talk about in a minute, which is Venus conjunct Neptune, but I just want to explain a bit about what's been going on through my head as I've been starting to record this video, because this is about attempt number 6, because I've really found it difficult today, which is Thursday, the 30th of January, the day that Uranus stations direct in Taurus, because it has been a dramatic day on the world stage with a devastating air accident in Washington, D.C. And also the release of the hostages, or several more hostages in Gaza, to return to Israel. I watched on the news and it was very harrowing because they were, in a sense, being paraded like trophies, and the fear on this 20-year-old's face, and then a 29-year-old young woman. And it's just affected me. It's really made me feel very sad. And I'm sure many of you get affected by the events that take place in the world. And the only way to kind of protect ourselves from them is to bury our heads in the sand, which of course isn't always a good thing, because I think it's important that we stay informed. But this followed on, and I want to just mention this before I go on to the aspect of the day, because I had a really bad night sleeping. And I kept waking up and my dreams were all about death. My dreams were very depressing and sad. And it was as if I was, it was as if I was the snake shedding an old skin, shedding a worn out skin. So I give that to you because I know some of you really appreciate when I share how I feel. And, you know, I think it's good for you to know that I don't just roll these off. These astrobites don't just roll off the tongue very easily. I've had a completely empty day in the sense that I had nothing booked. I had an appointment booked that got cancelled. So I've had plenty of time to have started my videos of astrobites much earlier in the day and not at 4:30 in the afternoon. But I have just not been able to get my energies onto some kind of level where I can communicate. So I give that to you because, as I said, Uranus is going direct today, the day I'm recording it, which is the 30th of January. By the day you see this, Saturday, the 1st of February, it will still be at 23 degrees in Taurus, but it will be direct. So there will be a shift. And what I want to bring in is, of course, Uranus is the planet that represents aviation. And the sign it rules, Aquarius, is also about aviation. And I think it is interesting that this devastating air accident in America happened when the moon in Aquarius, because I checked the time, was squaring Uranus about to go direct in Taurus. And, you know, astrology we have to observe. We can't always predict. What I know is that I woke up with a heavy heart and with a lot of sadness in me and a lot of kind of those feelings of, what's the point? What's the point in any of this? And so I give that to you because I want you to know that I don't just skip through life kind of in an okay place all the time. I struggle as much as everybody else. And you know my way, and you know that if you follow my channel, that I will give you my truth, my feeling, my energy. And I think that leads nicely into this Pisces energy that we have, because Pisces is about feeling, raw emotion. It's also about our dream world. You know, the dream world that I inhabited last night was very mundane on one level, but it was just so uncomfortable and so dead. It was dead. That's the only way to describe it. And we've got Saturn in Pisces, of course, Saturn, the planet of limitation. Saturn is coming up to, or rather Mars, retrograde Mars, which actually goes direct this month of February, is coming up to make a trine aspect to Saturn. But I'll talk about that tonight when I do my live feed for the month of February. And that's Saturday, and that's at 6 p.m. Central European time, and going back an hour as we move west. So the moon is also in Pisces today, adding to this kind of collective feeling of, do you know, one of you lovely subscribers who take the time and the trouble to comment, talked about the Pink Floyd number called Comfortably Numb. And there's something about this energy in Pisces that makes me think of that track that they did. And I think I need to go away and listen to it and listen to the lyrics, because I think it might explain very much where I am. Now, I give you all of this because I want you to think about where you are in you, where you have been for the last couple of days, because, as I say, I'm recording this a couple of days before the 1st of February. How have you been feeling Thursday, Friday, even Wednesday with that new moon? And here we are with this build-up of energy. We've got Venus, our planet of relationship, but our planet of the divine feminine, our planet that represents our self-worth. Also, in this instance, it's her ability to flow, the flow of the feminine emotion, the flow of tears, the outpouring of tears that often we have to let fall. And conjunct Neptune, and then a little bit later, in a couple of hours' time, the moon will be both conjunct Venus and Neptune, kind of emphasizing and underlining a kind of pit of emotion in our stomachs, in our solar plexus, kind of just making us so aware of the extremes of feeling that we have. And I just think that it's important to honor this energy today and maybe sit quietly with it, because they're both only 2 degrees away from the North Node in Pisces that has moved back into Pisces. And the North Node, remember, is about not only our collective destiny, but our individual destiny and what we want to achieve, where we want to go, how we want to proceed forward. And we need to proceed forward with faith, because sometimes we can't see clearly. We know the change is coming, and we are often in such a hurry to get to where we want to get to, we forget that we have to go through the various stages of the process of change to actually get to that point. And I think that Venus conjunct Neptune is saying, be clear about what you want to manifest. Be clear. Try and sit with it. Try, or actually don't try. Just take a step back. Go with the flow of the way the divine is taking you. Have faith that the divine always has your back. It's very hard to have that faith when terrible things happen. It's very hard. But, we have to keep moving in a forward direction. We have to take what we can from what happens in life and try and learn from it. And I think this Pisces energy with these planets in the stellium here are really talking about the completion of the of a particular cycle for many, many people. And the kind of how it coincides with the year of the wood snake and the Ouroboros eating its own tail, talking about the regeneration and recreation and how we do actually go through processes of rebirth, but they're very painful. So a lot about feeling, and maybe not so much about astrology, but I just think that sometimes we have to sit with the confusion, the illusion, the delusion, the deception, and even how much we are not honest with ourselves, and how as bits of truth trickle through to us from our subconscious, and we face the truth and the reality of maybe certain dreams that are maybe turning to dust, maybe belong in the old cycle, in a part of our life that we can't take forward with us into the Aries start of the next turn round the zodiac wheel. And the pain of letting go is, as the word says, it is painful. So the word I've chosen for the day is actually illusion, because I think to make sense of what does not make sense. So if I go back to how I felt when I awoke this morning, nothing made sense to me. I switch the news on. I see about the air accident. That affects me and takes me deep into a dark place in myself of empathy and how out of control we are with everything. We have no control over the future. We constantly have to live with the uncertainty of life and living. And so illusion, Albert Einstein said, reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. I mean, that is quite, quite a persistent thought. Reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. And then Christoph of the Truman Show said, we accept the reality of the world with which we are presented. And that's true too. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. And that's from something called The Usual Suspects. And then we have to look at illusion versus reality. And Voltaire said, illusion is the first of all pleasures. Yes, if we can live in our illusions and our dreams and not face reality, but we can't stay there for long. Sorry, this is sounding terribly sad today, but sometimes life is what it is, and reality is tough and hard and painful. Woody Allen said, what if everything is an illusion and nothing exists? In that case, I definitely overpaid for my carpet. And I think we all have those thoughts sometimes. Maybe all of this is just my imagination. Maybe I am just like in the Matrix or in some strange, crazy dream, and I'll wake up sometime. And maybe that is what happens when we die. And Robertson Davis said, the eye sees only what the mind is prepared to comprehend. That's, I think, an interesting one. Kurt Vonnegut said, we are what we pretend to be. So we must be careful about what we pretend to be. And you see, when I started this video and why I found it so hard I had to keep going back and starting again, is I was pretending to be all right. And actually, I'm not today. So I'll probably just do this one astrobite today and then reconvene on another day to do some more. So let's see, we've also got Ramana Maharishi said, the whole world is an illusion. Only the self is real. What can I say? these are the kind of questions that have no answers. We have to find our own truth about them. William Shakespeare in Hamlet said, "There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy." And that's true. And what about illusion in love and emotions? Well, H.L. Mencken said, "Love is the delusion that one woman differs from another." It's kind of true, isn't it? You know, in the dark, isn't it all the same? Amelia said, "Illusions are dangerous people. They have no flaws." Whereas Oscar Wilde said, "Men marry because they are tired. Women because they are curious. And both are disappointed." Oh dear, I am sorry to be so caught in Piscean energy today. I think that's the best way to describe it. And will it change? It will, because it always does. And we actually have this, or have had, we have this lovely aspect coming up very soon, which is Mercury in Aquarius will trine Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. That could bring really good news. So let's finish on that note. That'll be another AstroBite next week. But for now, I'd like to say thank you for listening to me in my Piscean wallowings. And please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now. Bye.